Hey guys, welcome back to the Sports Plug. We have a very special episode. Usually, of course, I come on during the football season after week 1, 2, or 3 to talk about the weekly recap of the games. But today's a very special episode because the city of Houston is elated with joy when it comes to winning the Super Bowl without having to make it to the Super Bowl, and that's firing Bill O'Brien. And today I have two very special guests, my boy Ish from Kinfolk and them, and Ryan Kirkpatrick. Thank you guys for joining the show. Before we get on to the topics, of course, please make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube page on the Sports Plug, and also make sure you join my Twitter page on xwilliams81.
I didn't realize he was part of NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, whatever.
Oh, that's the joke.
No, you good, man. You good.
That's fine. All right. So, like I said, first topic we're gonna get into Houston Texans fire Bill O'Brien. Of course, like I said, I'm gonna let you guys have the mic. Ishmael, Ryan, if you guys want to start it off.
Ryan, go ahead, man.
I talk about the city of Houston rejoicing. Holy cow! Guys, this is long overdue. This is about 3 years overdue. Absolute max. He should have been out as soon as the Kansas City Chiefs game. Should have been gone there. You get rid of the number one receiver, D-Hop, for a bag of chips and a soda. Bro, time to go. Somebody else. Let's hand over the reins. The owner's probably rolling in his grave right now, so let's move up from here and let's regroup and get things back to where they should be.
I mean, as excited as I am for this decision, I'm also completely distraught because it's too little too late. And I say that because we got to understand as fans, not only are we getting rid of a coach that has just wasted some of the best players in the league, their prime years, and traded away people for nothing, but we are also getting rid of a GM. So now we have to fill two spots for one guy that was absolutely horrible.
Yep.
And we don't have any first or second round picks next year. So, I mean, and while it's great and everybody can definitely rejoice today, you are going to have to think about how sad it's going to be moving forward, knowing that this team has a long way to go. And right now, it doesn't look like the light is anywhere near at the end of the tunnel. We don't have any help coming for Deshaun Watson anytime soon. We have horrible salary cap situation right now. We are paying the highest paid roster right now with the 0-4 team. Terrible. I mean, it's such a horrible situation to have to crawl back from that they should have made this decision a long time ago.
Yeah. Now, I'm happy you bring that up, Ish, with the cap and also the draft picks. Like you guys said, the draft picks for next year are already taken by Miami. Am I wrong?
Yep.
Yes, by Miami. So, like you guys said, this is a great day for Texan fans right now, but for the future of the franchise, it's going to be very, very important on picking not just the right coach, but also the right GM. Because when you have a coach like Bill O'Brien that put himself in position to be the coach and GM, when he gets fired, you don't have to, like you said, you can't replace one, you have to replace two now. So anybody in mind when it comes to coaching wise, and I'll bring up coach for right now, we'll get into the GM a little bit later. Coaching wise, do you have anybody in mind?
Go ahead, Ish.
I have a pair, actually.
Go ahead.
I actually would like to see Bieniemy. So Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs, their offense coordinator. I definitely think with the only thing that makes me a little iffy about this selection is how bad the defense has been. If we still had a defense that was performing well, I would feel really good about saying Bieniemy because I want somebody to come in and work with Deshaun Watson and use him to his full potential. But with how bad the defense is, if you bring an offensive coach in and he doesn't have the right defensive staff with him, you're looking at a situation like with Dallas right now where yeah, you may be scoring a bunch of points, but if your defense going
giving up 49 points, you can't win a lot of
doesn't
games.
matter, right? So that's one thing. But the GM, I'd like to go with him. I think it is. Here, go ahead, Ryan, and then I'll get back to y'all on the GM.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of like Ish, right? I'm really, really torn. I cannot tell you one specific person that, I agree with the Kansas City offensive coordinator. I think that'd be a okay pickup. I'm not 100% sold. I truly, honestly think, like we said, we're in a rock and hard spot. I mean, you focus too much on offense, your defense is going to struggle. You struggle on defense, your offense. Yeah, you got to have to find something that's right in the middle or pretty damn near close. It's one of those things that do you want to waste Deshaun Watson's career like we've wasted J.J. Watt's career?
And Andre Johnson.
And Andre Johnson. I mean, there's several ways you could go with this. It'll definitely be an interesting rest of the year, but Romeo Crennel is not the answer.
And I definitely agree on what you're saying. And let's just go back to what we were talking about earlier. Well, Nick Davila said, let's not forget that Miami owns the right to our first and second round picks. Shout out to Michael Lewis checking out the broadcast. Romeo Crennel is the interim coach. Yes, we do know that. And also, Nick Davila said this firing is very long due. But besides just the coaching aspect of things, when it comes to finding the right coach, like you guys pointed out before, it's about not wasting a guy's career like a J.J. Watt, or hopefully not like Watson in the future. Now, the question I have for you guys is, let's be real, J.J. Watt is pretty much on the back end. And you're going to have to get new defensive stars to get that defense where it needs to be, because it's not what it used to be with Merciless and Cushing and of course Vince Wilfork. Those days where the defense was actually a stout defense. So going forward, like you said, Ish and Ryan, you can focus on the offense for trying to get an offense coordinator in, but you can lack on defense and score 35 points but give up 42. Or you can focus on the defense and give up 20 points, but maybe Watson isn't used to his full potential. So being stuck between that rock and a hard place, it's very unfortunate that this franchise is in this position. And what it kind of feels like is Bill O'Brien did a Chip Kelly with the Eagles when he came into the Eagles and got rid of everybody with the Eagles. Now look at what happened. Chip Kelly got rid of Chip Kelly, and they were able to bring in Doug Peterson. They won a Super Bowl. I'm not saying the same thing. I'm just saying, don't look at all of a sudden don't look at a firing or a hiring as in, oh, this could be the guy, or oh no, we can't give him a chance because we don't know what's going on with his resume coming in. Who knows? Maybe this next coach can spark a fire into this defense and be able to get the defense back to where it needs to be. It's just time will tell, right?
It's going to be a struggle, man. I mean, that situation wasn't as bad as the Texans as far as you got a team that's 0-4. You got a team that doesn't have a first and second round draft pick. I mean, there are a lot of things that are working against whoever gets hired. And I just thought about who I wanted to be the GM. I think this guy, he did make a couple bad moves with Cleveland, but he made some really good moves with Cleveland. He also made a lot of really good moves in Kansas City. Kansas City is my adopted home.
Your home away from home.
Yeah, so I do support the Chiefs a lot. That is my team. But I do kind of root for the hometown team, the Texans. I want to see them succeed. So I would love to see them hire John Dorsey as the GM. I think he made a lot of great moves with Cleveland that brought Odell Beckham to Cleveland. Kareem Hunt came to Cleveland. Look at how he's doing now with them. So, I mean, I think that they could do something. He may not be the long-term answer, but I think for the situation we're in and seeing what he has been able to do as far as making some of these moves, I think that is a good option to bring in, see how creative he can get with helping to bring some veterans in. And I think him and Bieniemy together, they both work together in the Chiefs organization. I think that could really work out. You could have something similar to the Chiefs because let's be honest, this is completely different. But I think you can have something that's working in the right direction.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, the next guy that comes in may or may not be the long-term coach. But when we talk about sparking a fire, there's no fire right now. We need to start with a kindling, and to bridge the gap from where we are. Because until we get some first-round picks, until we get some second-round picks, the person that gets hired may or may not be the long-term coach, and shouldn't get an extension until proven otherwise. Because that was, it was way overdue.
Now, shout out to William Bursch checking out the broadcast, aka Sasha. He says, "Get me a GM from the Ravens front office." Hey, that's another AFC team that has done really well when it comes to drafting players, getting free agents. Calais Campbell went from the Jacksonville Jaguars over to the Ravens, so I definitely agree with Williams' statement when it comes to getting maybe somebody from the Ravens. But one thing I know about the Ravens, their organization, they like to keep them from within. They do not like to let people go. If you are a Raven, they will find anything possible, any way possible, maybe except if you're Earl Thomas, to make sure that you stay within the Raven family.
I like how you stuck that in.
I don't know what you're talking about. I had to sneak it in like a Derrick Henry stiff arm, baby. You know what I'm talking about. But same thing with the Steelers. Same thing with like I said, certain franchises out here, they like to keep certain guys amongst their staff. Now, I'll say this, because shout out to Michael Lewis. Like I said, he's checking out the broadcast. He did mention that Andre Johnson might be available to be able to be put into a front office position and whatnot. And if that is the case, then that will be the start of what the Texans might need. Or let me finish. That might be the start of what the Texans might actually, become this family organization. What I mean by that is you have to start somewhere, Ish. You have to start somewhere. The Texans.
Nope.
What? Nope. The Texans have had nothing but bad, quote unquote, bad press over the last 20 years when it comes to not taking care of their players. When it comes to not making sure that their organization and where it needs to be. So at least what you can do is give back to the players that put so much into it, like an Andre Johnson.
Run away. Look. I'm looking out for
Everybody has to find a way to make it, make amends, and this is what the Texans can do. They can bring everybody together and hopefully move forward, with Deshaun Watson. Hey, I'm just saying.
This is a Titans fan trying to tell the Texans what to do.
Hey, I'm just trying to help y'all out. Look, we got our stuff together. We was 3-13 at one point. We over here went to AFC Championship game, so I'm just trying to help y'all out. But y'all can help me though.
Andre, run away. Do not take any position they offer you. Not right now. I can understand in a couple years.
Let me put it to you this way: the Texans don't deserve Andre Johnson.
Yeah, not right now, please.
They don't deserve.
Sure. We can do something later on.
Like William said, and I just touched on previously. He said AJ80 said he wanted to work in the front office. So
he did.
Not
again,
right now.
it could happen. If not now, then when? Ish. If you're having a fire sale, you might as well come in and take some furniture or something like that. And first of all, hey, let me point this out clear. O'Brien is not Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher took the Titans to the Super Bowl, so you cannot compare that. And also, Jeff Fisher did not pay $70 million guaranteed to Brock Osweiler. So please, let's stop that comparison. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I know it's a burn. That's what happens when you try to do funny little jokes. We're not doing that. Anyways, James Jennings, aka my cousin. Appreciate you, still a fan. He said, what about Mike Vrabel? Mike Vrabel is the coach for the Tennessee Titans, so he's not leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, I think
shout out to Greg checking in on YouTube. He said Andre Johnson in the front office would be dumb. Hey, I mean, a guy with a lot of football experience, I don't know how that would be dumb, but hey, that's your opinion. It is what it is. Andre Ware, not Andre Johnson. Again, I don't mind that at all, but Andre Ware has been in the booth for about, 10, 15 years. We haven't heard anything coaching-wise or GM-wise from him, so I don't see how that could work. So, hey, everybody that's watching out there, if you have anybody coaching-wise and GM-wise that you feel like that can – be the next coach or GM for the Texans, please let us know.
Dude, I'm
hey, also another guy that could probably leave away from a Texas school that can go to a Texas professional.
Right now. If you say Tom Herman,
you already know where I'm going. You already know where I'm going. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bad man for saying
Hey, he already did it to Houston. He might as well do it to the other Texas school. He going.
Get out of here with that crazy.
Hey, he gonna leave Texas. And he gonna come to the Texans and show out.
Man.
Hey, that's how you able to make it to the top right here. You able to go to businesses, you fail at businesses, you get promoted, and you go to the top. That's how it works out here in business land, right?
No,
hey,
please,
I'm just saying.
No.
All right. Also, before we get up out of here, another coaching choice. Javier says, "What about Dabo?" He said that earlier. What do you guys feel about that? Honestly, I'm not a big fan. I don't think Dabo will translate over to the NFL side. I think he's perfect for college, not so much NFL. But
that's what I was just about to say.
I think Javier is seeing. I think he's seeing what the Cardinals did when it comes to Kyler Murray in that situation. Because let's be real, Cliff Kingsbury did not deserve that job at all because of his college resume. Not saying he's not good, but because of his college resume, that he did not deserve that job. But the Cardinals are playing okay. Should not have lost to the Lions and also lost to the Panthers. So, y'all killing me right now, Cardinals. I want y'all to have greatness, and you're not showing it to me right now.
I gave Cliff a compliment, and then look at what he did. Like, I complimented you, Cliff, after I gave you a hard time, said you didn't deserve the job, you shouldn't be there, and then
you did. You was high on him.
You just went and threw it all away. I mean, my goodness. I don't know what's going on in Arizona right now.
Shout out to Juan. He says, Romo? No, sir. Romo is perfect in the booth. William says, Dabo is a college guy like Saban. We've already seen that. We've seen that situation with Miami Dolphins. He was there for less than a year, was up out of there.
Those are the guys that belong in a college football team and only that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said Cliff played in the NFL, so at least he understood things. Yes, I understand where you're coming from, but we know a lot of NFL players that played there that was exactly. So
he was mediocre at Texas Tech. He did not deserve that.
Greg asks, could they try to get a college coach for the job? They could, but honestly, I don't think that will help them moving forward.
I think it depends on the coach, and if they come with like the Cliff situation works in Arizona
for Kyler.
He has a specific system that works with the quarterback. I think unless you have a coach like that where they have a system that you think is going to translate with Deshaun Watson, then it makes sense. But if you don't, then I mean, you're really just kind of reaching and trying to force something that I don't think is going to work. I think at this time, you need something that's more stable, a guy who has experience in the league, who's able to, connect with these veterans, build a locker room, and get some of that on his side instead of trying to get somebody that's going to have to deal with all this new stuff.
You know what the main thing the Texans need? They need an identity. They need a coach to come in here and set an identity for the team. We know what Deshaun Watson can do. We know what J.J. Watt can do. That's fine. What about the rest of the team? That's what they need to see from the Texans. The Texans they've had players in the past, but it would have looked like Tyrann Mathieu. I can keep on naming guys that leave the Texans and go off and do great things. And you're like, well, what happened? No, they were great when they were here with the Texans, as you didn't have the coaches put them in the right position to succeed.
And look at Tyrann Mathieu went out and won him a chip.
So let's not act like the Texans as an organization don't have great players, because they do. But we have to wait and see. This is another good name from William Robert. I can't say his last name, and I just Robert Schleh from DC, defensive coordinator from the 49ers. Great intensity guy. Looks like, of course, he pumps the hell out of the gym, weight room or whatnot when he's in the weight room. But I don't know as a head coach. There are guys that are great at coordinators. Wade Phillips, Mike Williams,
Romeo
Cornell. There's guys that are great at being coordinators. But when you move them from being a coordinator to a head coach, it just seems like they just cannot do that. Jason Garrett, we're gonna have to wait and see his second part when it comes to being a coordinator, see how he does. Javier says West Coast play style would benefit Watson. I agree, but that just also means that we have to find somebody that has a West Coast. The only person that I can think of in my head right now that would fit Deshaun Watson, because of not just his college experience, but also because of his playbook style, which is more professional, is Washington's coach. I can't remember my name. John.
Jay Gruden?
No, John Peterson.
Oh, John Peterson.
John Peterson from Washington. That to me would be the better coach because you have not the college aspect, but because if you look at his programs from Washington to Boise State, everything's been ran as a pro style type of offense and has helped guys from quarterbacks and also wide receivers make it to the professional league. So John Ross was there. There's a lot of guys that were played up under John Peterson that I've heard nothing but good things. So this is going to be very cool to see who's going to be the next one.
No.
Nah.
Stop it.
Yeah. Let's see.
What you said though is true though. Like you said, we need somebody to bridge that gap, serve as an identity coach and everything. I know we're talking about the Astros a little bit earlier whenever we were talking, but you need somebody like a Dusty Baker to come in and find an identity of the team so you can sizzle down everything that's happened, and then you come in and Dusty may not be the answer for the Astros, in the long run. But as of right now, he's the coach and he's led them to the things that they have. But just something as a starting point, and then work your way up from there.
Shout out to Howard. He said Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs. Yes, that's what Ish said earlier. William again. Harbaugh runs West Coast offense. Go Wolverines. Of course, go Blue, baby. Yes, sir. And Greg says the coach from the Chargers, that's Anthony Lynn. He might be out of there soon. Maybe no Anthony Lynn. Anthony Lynn really is a pretty good coach. I'll say this, with the things that he is dealing with in LA, it's just not on him. A lot of injuries. Everybody got injuries. My Titans got COVID. It is what it is.
That's what happens when you don't have preseason.
That's exactly what. Thank you, Ryan. That's exactly what I was about to get at, and that's what I'm going to be talking about on my next show tomorrow when we do our weekly wrap up. Is that this first 4 weeks of the season, 1 through 4, it's still preseason football. Like this is to me, this is everybody's still not 100% rolling on their offensive side of the ball or defensive side of the ball. We're still learning about teams every week. Just because the Bears are not them anymore, but the Bears were 3-0, that doesn't mean that they were a team to be quote unquote reckoning with. The Titans were 3-0, but people still have question marks about us. Nobody believes in us, and that's perfectly fine. People still think that the Texans, even though they're 0-4, can still make the playoffs because they did it years before. That's just what I'm seeing on social media. You're laughing, but I'm just saying the season. Hey, there's a long season. There are teams that start 5-0, 6-0, they only make the playoffs. And there are teams that the Colts last year went 1-5 and won the division. So let's not. I understand that, but let's
tell you something right now. The Texans are not making the playoffs.
But mathematically speaking, you're right. They still have
possibility.
And you have an extra wild card spot in the AFC and NFC. So who knows? All I'm saying is you have to play the full season. Remember the Vikings? They started off the season last year like shit, and then winning a playoff game. So
Romeo Crennel is going to have to get in there and really turn things around for them to even sniff the playoffs. I mean, it's going to take a lot. That defense is horrendous.
Well, I'll say this. Romeo Crennel just doing a cleanup job, just pretty much like Ryan talked about with Dusty Baker. Yep. Dusty Baker just playing pretty much cleanup right now.
Can we talk about how Whitney Merciless got a $55 million contract and has not shown a single dime for it?
I'll say this. I mean, we could go back to Brock Osweiler. There's a lot of people y'all paid that don't do a lot of things. I mean, I'll say this. The only person that is actually showing up is J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt is at a point where you can't even really get on him anymore when it comes to his injuries because at least he got the nuts to come up every goddamn game and show up. Even though he come out there with his arm looking like this. Look, he got a brace on his arm. That shit just flapping. He's still out there making tackles. Ain't no excuses. So again, shout out to JJ. He out there doing his thug thizzle. But the real thing is this. Look, this is why I want to wear him this today to make sure that y'all know and understand that I don't got no hate for the Texans. I love Deshaun Watson. I want to make sure that he's protected by all costs. I want to make sure he's protected by all costs. Okay, I want to make sure he's great for y'all as Houston fans. I just don't want the Texans as a franchise to win anything. That's all.
Get out of here.
So thank God, Deshaun Watson is finally free from the O'Brien pitfalls, and hopefully the next coach can lead him into greatness.
Let's hope.
All right. I definitely appreciate you guys for being on this episode. And like I said, I'll be back on tomorrow with Ish, most likely, if you want to join me for that weekly recap. All right.
Yeah.
Ryan, you want to join me back again tomorrow if you got time?
Yeah, I got time.
All right, we got time. We'll definitely recap. And don't forget, another hour. We got a double header Monday Night Football, baby. So I'm about to check that out. And
No Chiefs.
And no Chiefs, no go Chiefs around here. All right. See you guys next time. Appreciate it.